Hello and welcome back to Pics and Portraits. At the end of the last millennium, Pokemon took the world by storm. It was the hottest craze of Christmas 1999, and in many ways the end of my childhood. Also, the computers were going to turn on us, bringing an end to the world as we knew it. Now it's impossible for me not to conflate Y2K with the Pokemon phenomenon. They coincided, along with the year long synonymous with the future. In this video, we will revisit the panic and anxiety of that time, how it went down, and the respite those Pokemonsters offered. As a child of the 90s, I experienced many fads and must-have toys of the holiday season. My childhood was almost exclusively contained within the decade, and at age 10, I was prime target for Pokemon. Pokemon was created by Satoshi Tajiri in 1996. Tajiri had maintained a lifelong interest in both bug collecting and video games. From 1981 to 1986, he actually self-published a gaming fanzine featuring tips and tricks entitled Game Freak. Game Freak would eventually evolve into a game developer, and in 1990, Tajiri pitched the idea of players collecting and trading Pokemon, a portmanteau of Pokemonsters, to Nintendo. Their handheld console, the Game Boy, allowed users to transfer data between two linked systems. It was also, obviously, portable, meaning players could carry their Pokemon with them at all times. The game was designed with this in mind. Released in two versions, red and green, Pokemon encouraged interaction between players, as neither version included all 151 Pokemon. In order to complete the Pokedex and catch 'em all, as the slogan suggested, you needed to trade with someone who had the other version. Players could level up and evolve their Pokemon by engaging in battle. The Pokemon themselves were categorized into different elemental types, fire, water, grass, etc., and were designed by Ken Sugimori, who had illustrated the Game Freak scene. While they were released in Japan in 1996, 6 years after development had began, the games arrived in North America, localized as Pokemon Red and Blue, in 1998. That same year, the US government passed the year 2000 Information and Readiness Disclosure Act. This was intended to inform citizens and to regulate prevention and emergency measures for the Y2K problem. Now, the simplest way I can explain Y2K is that it was a computer glitch that came about due to the way digital information was organized. Dates were represented by two numbers instead of four, so 92 instead of 1992. This saved memory, but with the rollover to the new millennium, it presented the problem of computers recognizing 2000, 00, as 1900. The fear was that because programs were coded with a two-digit format, they would crash when the clock hit midnight, resulting in power grids failing, nukes launching, and planes falling out of the sky. Being a kid, my exposure to Y2K came mainly through the media I was consuming referencing it. I never felt any sort of real danger. Besides, I was very much preoccupied with Pokemon. Me and seemingly every other child. The games not only revived an all-but-dead console, the Game Boy, but spawned a franchise that grew into a phenomenon, reaching a frenzy in late 1999. It begat an anime, arguably the most accessible to North American audiences up to that point, as well as a trading card game, and pretty much any other merchandise you can think of. Pokemon was widely referenced and parodied in pulp culture, but not everyone was quick to embrace the fad. Some of this can probably be chalked up to the residual effects of 1980s Japanic. We have an entire video on that and Nintendo Power if you want to learn more, but pretty much your standard xenophobia. Religious groups opposed Pokemon due to its alleged occult themes, as well as this promoting evolution. Pokemon has also been accused of encouraging consumerism, gotta catch 'em all, as well as fostering gambling habits with their trading card game. As New Year's Eve approached, world leaders quelled fears by assuring the precautions taken will prevent any noticeable issues. However, that did not mean fearmongers didn't try to exploit the uncertainty for profit. The end of the world narrative spurred the stockpiling of supplies, and Y2K branded emergency kits were even sold, containing flashlights and non-perishables. The mere possibility of disaster itself caused problems, with fears of fuel and food shortages due to this preemptive panic. However, compliance measures ensured the new year came and went without a hitch. Throughout the later half of the 20th century, 2000 became a popular suffix to denote the cutting edge, the future, and this was it, the distant, mythical year 2000. I feel like Y2K was a dry run for the paranoia and anxiety that has so far defined the 21st century. The fear that technology we created has turned on us, that there isn't enough food or resources, that the world is coming to an end. Only we woke up January 1st, 2000 with a sigh of relief. We were safe. 20 years later, Pokemon remains popular, standing as the highest grossing media franchise of all time. I personally have not kept up with it, though I do revisit the games this time of year, in hopes of recapturing some of that magic. 1999 is, after all, held aloft, along with 2011 and 2017, as one of the best years of my life. Now I hope this video was not too self-indulgent, but this is a period I love returning to, especially around the holidays. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up and maybe check out our Christmas specials from last year, looking at anime's connection to Frosty and Rudolph, or Charles Schultz's impact on television. If you are new here, please subscribe, and remember, you can make my Christmas merry and bright by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/picsandportraits, where you can get dozens, literally dozens, of exclusive videos for just $5 a month. As always, thank you so much for your interest in this channel, and thank you so much for watching.